Hello, my name is Prashanti D. Jager. I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner, a yogi, activist, ethnopharmacologist, and the herbal facet of the original Organic India crew. This herb journal today is about one of the most important facets of sustainability, and that is dana, the science of right giving. But let's begin with a classic mantra of sustainability. This is a Shantipat mantra from the Taittiriya Upanishad and basically sums up many facets of a life of sustainability. All diversity is in one fundamental resonance. Sahana Vavatu. May spirit take care of us. May we take care of each other. Sahana Bunaktu. May spirit feed us. May we feed each other. Sahaviryam Kadavavahe. May we empower ourselves in ways that empower each other. Tejasvinavadi tamastu. May all we do shine brilliantly. Mavid visavahe. May we never speak ill of each other and always hold each other in and as our highest forms. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace to all the three sources of karma. So this is a Tulsi Field that is a few miles west of Azamgarh, about 2 hours north of Varanasi in North India. This field has been farmed for thousands of years, including at one time likely farming the indigo that found its way into medieval royal courts. You can see from the size of the Tulsi and the clouds that it is just past the monsoon and headed towards Tulsi harvest time. You can also probably hear the smile on my face. I love this picture. I love being here at this time. And yes, and it's also one of my favorite examples of Dan, of right giving. In this case, the right giving of land to future generations. So why look at the Vedic tradition when it comes to sustainability? The Vedic tradition is tens of thousands of years old, and their basic clock is the precession of the equinox, a 26,000 year cycle. It's actually 24,000 years. Any culture that keeps track of it by using a clock like this, a 24,000 year clock, will have a few things to teach us about sustainability. From my research from the ancient Puranas, 65,000 pages of myths and history and science, I've developed a model using some of the views and practices from these ancient people. Central to that model is Dan, the right giving. So, what survives in this world? A fundamental principle of the Vedas is that life expresses life to life for life. Life feeds on life. Life lives on life and feeds itself to life for life. When I say for life, I mean that in all senses of the word. One of the most fundamental Vedic principles is that life lives on life and designs itself to optimize this, not maximize, not hoard, not become congested with life, but to optimize the ease and grace of the flow that life is. This happens in a jungle, in a desert, between any two beings. So, what our life and lives give our resources to survives in this world as this world. What our life and lives give our energy to is sustained in this world as this world. What our life and lives give our money to is nourished in this world and becomes the genes and memes of this world. Thus, in this world, sustainability is not sustainable unless it's market-driven sustainability, unless consumers support the sustainable acquisition of resources via responsible companies engaged in dedicated stewardship of these resources. Not ownership of these resources, stewardship, trusteeship. For sustainability to occur, we are certainly looking at several fundamental paradigm shifts here. For instance, when you buy some Tulsi tea, you are directly supporting and giving life to the life of farmers in North India, like this wonderful woman who is a Tulsi farmer, and to her organic biodynamic farm and fields that are nearby the field shown above in those first few slides. So, right giving. right giving is absolutely key. This is why one of the basic elements of Vedic sustainability is Dan, which the Buddhists call right giving, basically. Dan literally means the act of giving, giving up, communicating, imparting, teaching, paying back, restoring, adding, and addition. Many words or concepts arise out of this word Dan, like Danu, the Irish goddess, Danube, the river whose flow represents abundance, and Demeter, the goddess of sustainable nature. So in Vedic and yogic tradition, Dan is the supporting of the individual and collective sattvic mind, the mind of clarity that is actually the one capable of sustainability. We'll get into this more in just a moment. The rules of Dan are found all throughout the Vedic literature. And all through the Vedic and yogic literature, this Dan, okay, giving is important. What do you give? The most important things that you give, according to the Vedic and yogic literature, is food, herbs, water, wisdom, lore, money, and land. And in the Jain tradition, the main forms of Dan include food, shelter, medicine, and education. So just as in our genes, all beings have the codes by which we can sustainably reproduce the life that we are. And you can see that Dan is the way of wisdom traditions supporting the sustainability of themselves. Does that make sense? So you have these principles, and they are to support the very tradition that they make up. It's a beautiful thing, and the Vedic tradition is full of these. I've picked out 8. This is the one on Dan, right giving. So Dan is like the reproductive genes of a tradition, of the wellness of a society. So here's a picture of the older generation of Tulsi farmers. Those smiles of hope and gratitude are genuine, as are the tears of many farmers in India committing suicide due to Monsanto and the government's horrendous mismanagement of resources, like, for instance, the damming of the Himalayan rivers, which is destroying the ability of people on the plains to have access to pure water, have access to any water. So, who to give to? Giving to the worthy accrues individual and collective merit, or luck, or sustainability. Highest on the list of the worthy are the keepers of the wisdom traditions, like the Earth Guardians Foundation, or the Dinnercharya Foundation Trust, or certain monasteries that are more spiritual than religious. So those wisdom traditions that support a life in harmony with nature and culture and environmental sustainability. So Dan, right giving, is to give nourishment to institutions or governments like Bhutan that studies and promotes greater harmony with the environment and sustainability. Like, Bhutan is famous for this. Dan, right giving, is the nourishment to companies like Patagonia, whose intentions and kalpa, production, products, services are sattvic, pure, potent, non-violent to Gaia and all beings. The Living Seed Company, another great example. Dana is to give to those people who can do so much with so little, who can amplify cents into dollars and transform barrenness into lushness. Dan today, in 2012, is to give to that which predominantly and proactively promotes environmental activism, social injustice initiatives, and indigenous cultures' resistance to globalization. That previous slide was one of the older generation of Tulsi farmers. Here's a slide of the future generation of Tulsi farmers. I've seen many of these children just growing up over the last decade. It's a very beautiful thing. So, who not to give to? According to the azimuth of the Vedic and yogic principles of sustainability, giving to the unworthy is criminal and depletes personal and collective merit or luck or sustainability. Highest on the list of the unworthy are the violent, the untruthful, the destructive, and the hypocrites. Giving anything to a violent, toxic, and hypocritical idea, person, institution, corporation, or government is not sustainable, but destructive and criminal, according to the Vedic and yogic tradition. And by the way, according to the Vedic and yogic traditions and rules of sustainability, those with ample resources not shared are considered thieves. So who has ample resources? Well, there are over 2 billion people in the world who, largely due to exploitation, they make only $2 or less for a full day's work. So I might use them as a relative measure of who has ample resources and who doesn't. So another big grin on my face. I don't know if you can hear that on my... So I was going to post a picture here of some people not worthy of our support, but they're not even worthy to be on this picture, in this slideshow. So here it is. I've chosen to show you a very worthy team. In this picture, in front of the Tulsi Field are many Tulsi farmers. There's Dr. Narendra Singh sitting next to me. He is one of the greatest and most successful doctors in all of India. There's Dr. Ralph Miller and his son Sam Miller. They're scientists and researchers who promote sustainability. And there's some of the staff of Organic India. So, Don, the giving of land. You know, there's many things you can give. Land, obviously, is a very important one. Giving land is, without doubt, one of the greatest danas, even though it does seem a bit fundamentally presumptuous that humans can own land without regard of any other species on, under, or above that land. So when you see Earth as something physical and inanimate, then that view lends itself to seeing Earth as property, which then can be owned and hence set up humans as owners. However, if you see Earth and her ecosystem and abiotic elements like rivers, etc., as a functional unified being or a confluence of beings, which the Vedic mind does in all sincerity and entirety, then that view lends itself to seeing Earth as a ward or a charge or a member of your family to be protected and guarded, and that sets up humans to be stewards who are trustees. Huge difference. Humans are not owners. Humans are stewards who are trustees. Thus, in a scenario of sustainability, what is given is not ownership of land, but trusteeship of land. So, what kind of land have we been given as a generation or even as individuals? And what kind of land will we give as a generation to the next generation? Will we give dead, impotent, and toxic land? Or will we give organic, biodynamic, permaculture, pure sattvic land? This is your choice. This is the choice of the consumer. The consumer's dollars decide this. Here's a picture of a field of Vana Tulsi. You can see that there are many other herbs growing in this field of Vana Tulsi. Things like Mota Amapachak, Shatavari, Ashwagandha, Boom Amlaki, Shankpushpi. There's many. It's such a gorgeous picture, and to be there at harvest time and partake in these herbs, it's a wonderful thing. So, Dinnercharya. Dinnercharya is the daily routine. It's one of the most potent forms of medicine in Ayurveda. Din is day, acharya means staying close to or mastering. So Dinnercharya means staying close to the rhythms of the day and mastering your life so that that life is aligned to our cellular expectations that have arisen due to hundreds of thousands of years of immersion in our environments. So intrinsic to Dinnercharya, which includes lifestyle and diet, is that the accumulation of little actions done daily is more powerful than the large action done occasionally. Brushing your teeth daily is more important than seeing a dentist yearly. Hence, what you give that steady stream of single pounds, euros, dollars to is more important than what you give occasional larger sums to. People, we need a revolution. And that the most essential part of that revolution will not happen with guns or Molotov cocktails or even occupies, but rather with how responsible consumers via responsible companies will make intelligent, responsible choices around our resources. The big corporations know that the consumer is the most powerful human force on the planet, and that is why they are invested in dumbing down the consumer via propaganda and poor diet, and by paralyzing them in fear and anxiety. So don't buy into this. Buy into a beautiful, sustainable, empowered future for us all. Literally. We need a revolution. It's going to come with the consumers and their single dollars, euros, pounds, pesos, and crowns. So what does it look like when our minds truly are in the heart of sustainability? While our monkey minds wander and wish and quake one way or another, and our stubborn bull-like egos want things our own selfish way, our eternal, beautiful, innocent, childlike heart holds the fullness of every creature and every biota of every ecosystem on, below, and above this good earth. And our very nature is defined as goodwill. Our actions radiate the golden rule, and we hold all life with full dignity as sacred and profound. This happens, when this happens, the truth is the heaven in which every being has a right to live, a right to thrive, and a right to be happy, and no being has the right to take that away. Informed dignity and endless compassionate respect are the very fabric of sustainability, and these 8 facets that I've described are natural and innate to that heart that knows no other, that sees only self. And right giving, Don, is the essence, is one of the keys to this. So Organic India's vision of the Don, there are many great companies, as I said, doing great work, like Newman's Organics, Patagonia, New Belgium, Living Seed Company, and all of them have their own way of giving, their own way of giving back, their own path of Don, of right giving. So here is my view of Organic India's way of giving Don. First of all, creating and giving the Don, the right giving of land and water, living, pure, sustainable, and powerful land and water to the past, present, and future generations of beings, not just humans. Like, it's more important to give to animals and birds and plants and ecosystems. Forget about taking care of humans first. First, we must take care of our world and our ecosystems as the stewards we are. We have to rise to that occasion. Second, creating, giving Don of wisdom of Vedic and contemporary sustainable agricultural techniques. Many imperialistic European countries accomplish atrocities around the world, like what the Spanish did to the Mayan and Incan, and what the British did to India, like making their Vedic traditions illegal to practice. We are giving that back. We are reversing that. So we are supporting them and giving the Don of wisdom of Vedic and contemporary sustainable agricultural techniques. Third, we are creating and giving the Don of sattvic food and herbs, not just to these farmers, but in markets in 34 countries around the world as of 2012. Sattvic foods create sattvic minds, and sattvic minds make healthy, sustainable choices and complete the cycle. You know, consumers won't support sustainability unless they can see the big picture, unless their minds become clear enough. So to make the consumers' minds clear, we are giving the Don of sattvic food. This is a classic technique. Fourth, giving the Don of freedom and choice. Not just the choices made, but the choices created. Often people who are more financially affluent try to give solutions to people with less money. Often solutions are not the best thing, but what is the giving of choice by which people can create their own solutions and thus create more dignity and the momentum of accomplishment. Here's a picture of Dr. Bridgenath saying, teaching farmers in sustainable agriculture. This is a picture of Dr. Narendra Singh, an incredible researcher, wisdom keeper, doctor to over 500,000 patients, formulator of many of Organic India's products, one of my mentors, and the man under whose guidance Organic India initiated Tulsi farming. And here is a picture of Sri H.W. Alpunja, my teacher who taught me the most epic depths of the Vedic sciences and who inspired and guided the genesis of Organic India. So this journal brought to you by Prashanti, Dijagar, myself, Organic India, the Pacific Center of Ayurveda. Copyright Prashanti Dijagar 2009-2012. Thank you and fare thee well.